So Rob Schneider, an SNL alum, along being an actor and all that, decided to tell John Lewis what MLK Day was about. Now I know what you're thinking. Why does he have the right to do it? He didn't march with Martin Luther King Jr. and all that. I get what people's criticism are, and they're valid, but a lot of people, including John Lewis, forgot what Martin Luther King's message was. As we took bits and pieces of his "True, I Have a Dream" speech and we morphed them into to fit our agendas. So yeah, I mean, the Martin Luther King Day is so distorted on not on a historical level, but on a message level that sometimes you need people to actually who to actually reiterate exactly what the day was about. And he said, and Rob Schneider says, Representative Lewis, you are a great person. He acknowledges that he took part in the civil rights movement and all that. He acknowledges that he fought against racism and all that, and that does make him a great person. But Dr. King didn't give in to his anger or his hurt. That's how he accomplished and won civil rights. He's exactly 100% correct. Martin Luther King Jr., this was his opinion on rioting. He gets rioting. He understands rioting is the voice of the unheard, but rioting accomplishes nothing. That was what Dr. Martin Luther King thought of rioting. But Rob Schneider is absolutely 100% correct. Martin Luther King didn't give in to his anger. He faced his critics with great composure and not anger or emotion. And he's completely 100% right. That is how he won the civil rights for Black Americans. That's how he helped get the civil rights law passed. That's how he helped to do his part to get the civil rights law passed, because he kept his calm. He kept his collectiveness. And a lot of people today, when it comes to civil rights and injustices, we get so pissed off, we give into our anger, we flame up, but then that accomplishes nothing. That just gives into hurt, and that gives into anger, so therefore that fuels more hate. And I honestly think Rob Schneider didn't say anything wrong there. He actually was correct. He was correct with that whole tweet. And I'm being completely honest. I don't understand why people are mad at him for saying that. It's true. Malcolm X gave into anger and his hurt. Yes, he was a great figurehead for the civil rights movement, but his impact isn't as well known as Martin Luther King Jr.'s is. Because Malcolm X's impact is known, but you have to look into the history and the life of Malcolm X in order to know what his impact or his involvement with the civil rights movement was. But Martin Luther King Jr., you don't need to do any further investigation on him. You don't need to do any further research on him. You know what he did, and you know why he's remembered the way he is. Because he didn't give into his anger or his hurt, like Rob Schneider said. He didn't do that. He faced, like I said, he faced his critics with great composure and took criticism when his critics were right. But he pointed out where his critics were wrong, not with vengefulness, not with spitefulness, but with great composure. Even if he had hurt on the inside, he didn't let his critics see that. Because that's the worst thing you could do if you're trying to be a leader of a movement, is to let your critics see your hurt or your anger or your disgust for your critics. That's the worst thing you could do. And Martin Luther King Jr. knew that. But I think if Martin Luther King Jr. was alive today, he would be probably pretty disappointed where people have took his message and distorted it to such a point where we only take bits and pieces to fit our agendas. Anyway, I wanted to make a video on that because I don't see any controversial about the tweet whatsoever. See ya.